difficulties, but it looks like we didn't miss too much. Of course, 219 laps in, and Josh Schaffner still in the lead. Looks like Kenny Powell, though, starting to put some pressure on him. Go ahead, Big Al.
Kenny Powell's actually snuck his way up there, and he is holding on in second place there. He got a little bit of a G&G show happening.
Yeah, and it looks
Kenny
like
Powell to the outside. Powell into the wall. That's definitely not going to make his sponsorship feel any better.
No, not at all. Josh Schaffner still in the lead, though, but watch out. Patrick Gitter has caught up here, and we still have 30 laps to go. And we know how good he is on the long run.
He's going to be applying firm pressure onto the buttocks of Josh Schaffner.
And it looks like that pressure has caused that pipe to burst. A little bit of a slide out of the turn 2, though. Ooh, Patrick Gitter trying to throw a little bit of a block there. This is getting interesting. Yeah, this is not over. And look at also Corey Saucier. He was the one that stayed out the longest. He's right there, Big Al. I would not count that 3 out either. He's got the newest tires in the field right now.
Yeah, about 5 laps cleaner than all of the guys around him. So he is definitely feeling himself as well, Brian.
Shout out to all our veterans and first responders, active duty, reserve guard.
And definitely, we kind of heard a little bit of the radio chatter there, and didn't want to really cut it off because they were actually shouting out active duty and reserve guard, so definitely want to echo that as well. Of course, we had a little bit of technical difficulties where I had to restart my computer, and apparently my radio channel was still set on there. But either way, definitely a good message there for sure as the racing has started to heat it up for sure. Patrick Gitter, though, pulling away. He's got about a 4/10 of a second lead. Here comes Matt DeCiani. Going to try to get by, I do believe, Corey Saucier for that 4th place spot.
Now, we talked about this thing, that we were going to have some serious racing later on in the race. And also in the fact that they were going to be racing on, probably maybe a little bit more worn tires. Yeah, well, it's probably go time, I think. It's be as close to go time as you're going to get right now. It's Matt DeCiani now. It's going to be on the inside of the 24 Kenny Powell.
And keep in mind as well, Big Al, we talked about that time as when it came up to when it gets completely dark out too. I mean, it is completely dark out on the racetrack right now, so that makes it the grippiest it's probably ever been.
Yeah, and we're still at 86 degrees on that track temp, so I mean, yeah, it's within 1 degree of what it was the last time we had talked about. So yeah, this is about where you're going to be dealing at.
Now coming up, 25 laps to go. Matt DeCiani trying to see if he can't get up there to Josh Schaffner to get yet another EPI 1-2 finish.
Yeah, and he is definitely trying to do everything he can to reel in Schaffner. Schaffner probably that's probably not the spot he wants to be in right now, but looks like Kenny Powell's doing everything he can to try to give a little bit of help.
Also, look at Shane Parrish.
Yeah, the 66 of Shane Parrish. He is definitely trying to get to the front as well.
And he's been quick. I mean, of course, we talked about it. I hate to echo that again, but he had substantial damage earlier in the race and has recovered very nicely. Now up into the top 5. Also, Chris Johnson. He's been alive all day. Shane Parrish getting a pretty good run onto the entry of the corner. Got really close to Kenny Powell. Powell goes up the track a little bit there, Powell. I think dealing with a little bit of some handling conditions.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of pushed him in there. Maybe made Powell dive into the corner a little faster than he wanted to.
Oh, he did for sure. And that's something, a classic racing maneuver to push that guy into the corner. Make him uncomfortable. Unsettle that race car. And he did exactly that. That is what has put Shane Parrish now up into 4th place. Oh, Corey Saucier really loose right now. That is going to go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Now, I was just going to say that was going to give the opportunity possibly to Chris Johnson to move up into 6th.
Parrish now has to have his sights set on Matt DeCiani, as he is slowly going to be wanting to reel these guys in, because if he's got any spot to being on the podium, that's going to be it. DeCiani and Schaffner are going to be having to contend with each other here momentarily.
Patrick Gitter's 1.7 seconds out in front. He is driving away right now. And if Schaffner and DeCiani start to battle each other, that's going to bring Parrish into this picture. We've seen it already tonight. When they battle side by side, it slows the both of the cars down.
And I think that's exactly what Parrish is kind of hoping comes to pass. I hope that he hopes that they don't come to pass each other.
Taking a look off the right rear suspension of Josh Schaffner as the one comes to the inside. You can hear the Schaffner gets off the gas. Going to get a good run off the corner, though. Love this camera angle. Get to really hear these engines. You get to hear when they're letting off, and I think that's a lot of times we don't know really what their letting off points are, braking points, but this gives us a little bit of some insight. As we now have, I do believe, coming up to 18 laps to go. So the clock is counting down. The hourglass is running out of sand. Here comes DeCiani again. Contact. Oh, and there we go. We're going to have a caution, possibly a late race restart.
That is going to change everything.
That
as
it
well
will.
as well as Josh Schaffner's opinions and feelings about Matt DeCiani.
See if we can't go back and see this from a little bit of a different perspective. We were on the right rear suspension camera. And we'll see how this looks. DeCiani desperate to make the pass. You got to think these guys have been out here for 230-something laps. How frustrated do you think they possibly are at the moment? Here comes DeCiani to the inside. Oh, yeah, I could see why Schaffner would be very upset about this, because DeCiani, I don't think DeCiani meant to do that, but it definitely was DeCiani's fault, I would say. Oh, that got close. Look at that. I think that was the 82 of Jeffrey Ford. Almost came in after the fact and hit Schaffner. Let's take another view at that from a different angle. There's definitely going to be some apologies flying tonight. You see right here, Schaffner was about as close to the wall as you can get. DeCiani was trying to side draft him.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, looking at it from that angle, though, it looks a little bit more like it was unintentional.
I don't think it was intentional at all. I think it was racing. I think it was towards the end of the race, DeCiani was he was desperate to get that spot away. I don't think he did it intentionally. I don't think DeCiani really ever wrecks anybody intentionally. I have a lot of respect for DeCiani. I don't think he did it intentionally. I think it was just hard racing. He was trying to side draft him to pull Schaffner back, you know. And unfortunately, he pulled him back way too good.
Well, the good news is for Schaffner, it doesn't seem that he has any major damage.
Now, this is interesting, though. Patrick Gitter was not that good on the short run. Now, this is what this is going to require, is a short run. Who could win this race now? I mean, who's got a good short run car? Kenny Powell's aggressive enough. I'd watch out for that 24, Big Al.
I can't believe you just said that Kenny Powell's aggressive.
I mean, we've been saying it all race long, Big Al. Don't act like it's news.
You've been saying it. I wouldn't say that.
You called him a bully earlier.
What?
That ain't
Me?
you. Not you.
Man, not me. I definitely will speculate that it's going to make for an exciting finish here tonight.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be probably the highlight of the race right here.
Oh, man, as aggressive as these guys were racing earlier on, like in stage 1 and stage 2, I can only imagine how it's going to be here with 15 laps to go. I think it'll be 14 laps to go once we get back at it. So, yeah, it's going to be Yeah, it's Easter egg time, man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is going to be exciting. I have no
I mean,
doubts that these, and especially you got to think of how frustrated these guys probably already are after being out here for this long. I mean, think about this. I mean, this is a 375-mile race, and they've already
yeah,
been most of that already, and that's from here to Florida, South Carolina to Florida. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I'd be trying to no, shut up now. But yeah, you got me on. You put me on the spot on that one.
Well, I just know that's a long journey. I mean, that's a long journey to be taken and to be out there. And yeah, these guys probably a little cranky right now, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more accidents. To be honest with you,
You know, and especially this. This is the longest race of the year right here. This
it
is
is.
this is it's the 600. I mean, our abbreviated version of it, but we're still doing a longer stint here tonight than we have any other time, and now we're down to the thick of it. So this is like the crown jewel, if you will. I mean, this is kind of like NASCAR or the ISCA's Ironman competition, right?
Yeah, and you want to say that you won this race. I mean, this is going to be one of the most coveted races, I'd say, to win.
Yeah, you don't bloody want to come and sit here and say that you sat in traffic this whole time and finished, second to somebody. You wanted to be the first one to get to
Well,
Mama's house,
nobody
right?
remembers this. Nobody remembers second. Nobody remembers that
Nobody's gonna remember the guy that came in second. Are you serious?
guy. They all remember the winner. Who won that race?
I tell you what, if I can't be in that car, I'm definitely gonna have a lot of my paint on his. He's gonna know I was there.
That's right. Pace car lights are out. Green flag is soon to be waving. I do believe we're going to have, if I'm not mistaken, I think you're right, 14 laps to go here. Is this going to end quietly or with a bang? My money is on a bang.
Yeah, we come this far. Might as well go ahead and end it on a bang.
Well, we're going to have some fireworks out there after the race ends. Might as well have some fireworks before the race ends. And here we
Heck
go.
yeah.
Pace car down pit road. Patrick Gitter in control of the field. Green flag flies once again. And a good start there from Patrick Gitter. Matt DeCiani
He's
slides
got
down
it.
in front of Parrish.
That's a little bit of a slide job right there. The best of the field's kind of getting stacked up. Chris Johnson, though, going to slide in behind Parrish as well. Pretty much sorted out up front. Still looks like a little bit of melee back towards the rear. Kenny Powell's on a charge, though. He is currently in 5th place.
Look at J.C. Evans. He's riding right around the wall. I think he might have been touching the wall, but he was pulling a Chastain out there. Single file at the moment, but we're coming up now to 12 laps to go. Corey Saucier trying to make some big moves on Powell. Oh, Mark Sanchez loose off of 2.
Yeah, well, he had to get around Saucier because Saucier got sucked up. You got a bigger run onto the back of 24 that really kind of had to throw him into the wall a little bit to keep from making contact.
Yeah. And that has put Saucier under fire. Saucier right now battling with Josh Schaffner. Now, Schaffner was just involved in that accident with Matt DeCiani. He's working his way now back up to 7th place, so don't count that 50 out. He's probably driving with a little bit of anger. That corn's got into his system now.
Conviction. Driving with conviction.
Oh, yeah.
Saucier, though, definitely not faring well as he is falling all the way to the rear of the pack now. Going to fall out of the top 10, Brian, all the way back to 12th.
Yeah, a little bit of contact there with the wall. He just got passed by Alexander Carr and Greg Carr, our uncle and nephew team.
Greg Carr was actually running up in the top 5 a little bit earlier there. I do believe he was even battling he was in the lead for a couple of laps, but now he finds himself farther back in the pack.
Yeah, he was looking quick. I mean, he's definitely got a really good car underneath him. He is in the top 10, so got to give him credit there. Even J.C. Evans, I mean, he was up in the front at some points in this race as well. This has been a race, I think, where we've seen a lot of different leaders. I love to see that. But you can see, I think that this is what Patrick Gitter and DeCiani want to happen. They want those two to protect that front. Like, if someone starts to challenge one of these guys, I think that they're almost going to play blocker, if I am mistaken. I hope not. Especially this late in the race. I don't think anybody's going to be giving anybody any room. I think this is elbows out as we're coming here to 8 laps to go. Mark Sanchez, banner night for him. He's up to 6th right now.
Yeah, all I can say at this point, man, you know, she gets mighty wide.
Yeah, these guys are going to be 5 wide all by themselves. Kenny Powell trying to work on his G&G teammate Chris Johnson right now, as Johnson's in that 4th spot. Oh, Johnson gets a little bit of a wiggle there off of 2. Kenny Powell fills the space. Mark Sanchez is going to try to see if he can't follow through. I think this is when things are going to start to get turned up to 11. I don't think DeCiani's content to follow Gitter.
You know, I don't think DeCiani came here to follow Gitter. I think DeCiani came here to win a race.
Yeah, I think he tasted it last week at North Wilkesboro. I think he wants to taste it again, Big Al.
But unfortunately, I do believe he's going to have to work for it this week. But, you know, we still got quite a bit of racing left to go here. I don't think this thing is going to be over yet. I do believe that old Barney's going to get to wave it once more before he waves that old white flag in the checker.
Oh, it definitely is possible that we could see another yellow flag. Coming up now to 5 laps to go, we see Josh Schaffner side by side with Mark Sanchez trying to work his way up to 6. Sanchez moves up the track, Schaffner on the bottom.
Man, there's a lot of teammates up in there. 5 laps to go.
Schaffner does get clear of Sanchez. Randy Mullins trying to work his way through. Oh, Schaffner loose. Now 3 wide almost. Schaffner got incredibly loose, and that could be based on the damage as well. Or could he be pushing it too hard? Kenny Powell starting to try to make something happen. He's all over Shane Parrish right now. That's where now. Go ahead.
He kind of got pushed back a little bit further.
4 laps to go. Coming to 3 to go. Do we make it to the white flag? Patrick Gitter, your leader at the moment. He's got Matt DeCiani right behind him. Shane Parrish is in 3rd. Kenny Powell is in 4th. Chris Johnson 5th. Any one of these top 5 have the ability to win this race.
I think we're going to make it.
I think we might too. But I don't know. It's going to start to get hairy here. I think, like I said, I think DeCiani's not going to just sit here and follow Gitter. I think when it comes to that final lap, he's going to make a move. Now 2 laps to go. 1 more until we get the white flag. Josh Schaffner still battling with Mark Sanchez.
Yep, Mark Sanchez looks like he almost made a little bit of contact with Randy Mullins.
And here we go, exiting turn 4. And the white flag, Barney is waving it. No more yellows tonight, ladies and gentlemen. The next flag will end it. And Patrick Gitter right now with the advantage. 2/10 on teammate Matt DeCiani.
Looks like Gitter's going to get her done.
See Chris Johnson working on Kenny Powell for the 4th place position. And it looks like Chris Johnson gets that position as we exit turn 4. Patrick Gitter, as you mentioned, gets it done. Matt DeCiani comes home in 2nd place. Shane Parrish in 3rd. Chris Johnson, 4th place. Here, let me put up the results right quick. Of course, Chris Johnson, 4th place. Kenny Powell, 5th. Josh Schaffner in 6th. Mark Sanchez, 7th. Randy Mullins in 8th. 9th place, Greg Carr. And rounding out the top 10 is Corey Saucier.
11th place is going to be J.C. Evans. 12th place is going to be Alexander Carr. 13th place, Derek Jacobs. 14th, Jeffrey Ford. 15th, Scott Nashland. 16th, Paul Osen. 17th, Blair Holloman. 18th, Greg Wachinski. 19th, Dave Hughes Jr. 20th, Al Koslowski. And 20th is going to be Jordan Sailors. That's going to round out this portion of the race. We're going to take a brief step away, get a word from our sponsor. I think we'll be back with our post-race coverage.
Hey everybody, my name is Warren Maddox. I am the president of Ultimate Experience Outdoors. Our mission, we are dedicated to taking veterans, first responders, youth, and Gold Star family members on outdoor excursions across the country.
Support for our mission has many forms, from camp cooks to the great storytellers, some buddies with the band, maybe you just want to build a campfire and sit around and listen. Nothing goes unnoticed.
Camaraderie is reborn. The acceptance among the men and women that took an oath.
Whether it was decades ago or recently renewed, but never forgotten.
If you feel like you could help us, please visit our website, www.uxonation.org.
There, you can register to hunt, sign up to sponsor an event, or even donate to us so we can continue to execute our mission.
Oh my gosh, I'm so comfortable, bro. We get a hug. What have you done, Jim?
We need your help to hold the line once again.
You gotta get down to Hooters, have a drink, catch the game, get yourself some awesome wings. It's the place to do your thing. You gotta get down to Hooters. Here she comes, a girl next door, hanging with good friends and more. Come on, what you waiting for? You gotta get down to Hooters. So get on up and get on down to Hooters.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be joined in the booth by our top 3 finishers, starting with Shane Parrish. What a great job for you here tonight. I know you kind of had a little bit of an up and down day. Of course, you were involved in an accident earlier in the day, I do believe, with, if I'm not mistaken, Greg Wachinski. Quite a hard lick, but you still managed to get back out there and race. How did the car feel after that incident, and how did you manage to get back to be competitive again?
Well, I just decided to do 2 laps down just to see what the car would do. I had to get it back out there and had to adjust my lines. Definitely had to loosen it up. It definitely made the car super tight. But I drove it really hard and gave it all I had. Yeah, I didn't know if I'd be competitive or be able to even get back in the top 10, but just had to do searching and keep adjusting, and it worked out well.
It definitely seemed like it worked out well for you for sure. How do you feel? 250 laps. I mean, this is a long race. I don't know if you've done the NIS this week at all, but this is, even though this is shorter than that, still probably a little bit tired after this one, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, it can definitely wear on you, especially when you're, in heated battles, especially over the last 15, 17 laps. It's at the end of the night, you start getting tired and you start wearing out, and you're like, man, please just go green. But then we had the caution. But no, I had a great time. Great congratulations to my teammates. I'm really glad that we could finish 1, 2, 3. That was incredibly fun.
Yeah, definitely a huge accomplishment for you guys for sure. I mean, how did you feel about that? That last caution that came out. Were you a little worried when that caution came out?
Oh, absolutely. This car was, especially after the wreck, was really tight the first 15 to 20. It took me a while to fire off, and then once it did, it would go. But we made some tire adjustments, and I made a couple small adjustments there going to the pits again to loosen it up for the short run. It worked out well, and just really appreciated Patrick and Matt there, where he raced really clean. We just had a good time. Congratulations again to Pat on that win. It's awesome.
Heck yeah, well, definitely great job to you on the third place finish. Next week we go to Worldwide Technology Raceway, or Gateway. How you feel about that racetrack? Quite a difficult technical track.
Very much so. Did a lot of practice. So, well, I did some practicing an hour with Conti here Wednesday night, last night. It's just I've never really ran there. I think maybe once before, so not really sure how it's going to turn out. I'm going to put in hundreds and hundreds of laps to try to be ready. We'll see what happens when it comes down to it and see how our setup is.
All right. Well, I'm sure you guys will be strong. You seem like you're very good at long run, types of racetrack, and I think that'll be a place that might suit you. We'll have to. I'm sure you'll be ready for sure, especially your dedication to put those laps in. Shane, great job on the third place. You have been just knocking podiums out left and right over the last several weeks. Who can we give a shout out to after your third place finish?
I want to give out a shout out to EPI and the entire team. Definitely want to give a shout out to Michael Conti again for the one-on-one sessions I do with him once a week. Without that, I wouldn't even be close to where I am. Just every week, it just inches me a little bit more and gives me a little bit more of an edge to keep working on. And it makes me hungry. I just want to keep chomping all day long. But I'm hoping I'll get big and fat here soon.
100%. Well, thanks for your time, Shane, and we'll see you next week.
All right, guys. Good congratulations up there in the booth. Keep up the good work. We appreciate it. Kenny, thanks for the great league. We appreciate it.
All righty, that was Shane Parrish, driver of the 66 and third place finisher. Definitely a good job for him here tonight. And I think next up we're going to be talking to Matt DeCiani. Big Al standing by.
Hey, Mr. DeCiani, Big Al up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Big Al.
Hey, man, congratulations there for battling all the way back up. I think you had some pretty strong stages and an awesome finish.
Yeah, it was a long race. It's preparation for the long ones this weekend. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, I got caught up with that wreck, but we knew we had a great long run car, so it's kind of just save the tires early and get them at the end. But yeah, I want to apologize to Josh. I got him on a side draft, and I didn't even need to do that, and yeah, brought out that late caution.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. So yeah, what exactly did happen there?
Just hard racing, long race, and I kind of looked in front of me to see what the slap car was doing, and I lost where I was on the track and just got close enough where it hooked him.
Yeah, just an unfortunate set of circumstances there. Long race though, one of the longest ones on the docket. Definitely. How did the race with the stages and then actually, going from the dark to the light? How did that actually play in, and even down to the green flag pit stops? I think we had a little bit of everything thrown at you guys. Was that easier to focus on this week for preparation, or did that make it a little bit harder?
Well, the A opens really don't get dark out, so I mean, but like we knew our setup was gonna be good at night, and the key was to just not adjust it in the daytime, so we were good at night. I was incredibly free when the sun was out, and it was just knew it was gonna tighten up when it got dark out, and glad I didn't touch it because it was pretty good when it was dark.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like you were sitting on a rocket ship. Next week we head to Worldwide Technology, or Gateway. What are your thoughts on that track? And are you going to be shifting, or you think you're going to try to find a single gear setup?
No, I mean we'll definitely be shifting. I think you almost have to nowadays with the new RPMs, especially in 1 and 2. I think 3 and 4 might be optional depending on your setup, but I fully be expecting to be shifting probably on both ends next week.
Yeah, is that going to make it easier to prepare? I mean, is that a track that's in your wheelhouse, or that's just something you're not looking forward to?
I'm decent at flat tracks. I mean, I think I'll be pretty good, but it just depends. It's probably gonna be a track position race just because it's so flat in the arrow. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, we've typically been really good at the flat tracks, so we'll probably be all right.
All right. Well, congratulations once again, bud. Before we let you go, who you shouting out tonight for your second place finish?
Yeah, thanks for you guys for calling this race. I know it's probably a long one for you guys. Thanks for Kenny for putting on the league. Shout out to Patrick. He's unbelievable. I tried everything to get some kind of run on him. I just couldn't. And Shane, man, he was down 2 laps at one point and came back and finished third. So heck of a job to him.
All right, bud. As I always say, don't party too hard, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Alrighty, that was Matt DeCiani, driver of the brain just shut off for a second. Been at this for a little bit of time. The one car finishing second place. But next up, we're going to talk to Patrick Gitter, who got every bit of the points you could possibly get here tonight. I mean, he won stage 1, he won stage 2, he won stage 3, and he won the race. I mean, come on, Patrick. You got to give some guys some other guys some points out there, man. I mean, you had a good race though. Seemed like you were fairly confident when you talked to you earlier. I mean, what was the strategy here tonight? It seemed like you guys worked it to a T.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Excited to grab the win tonight, and I think it was just trying to play the long run, the tire saving game. What was interesting though was like the stages gradually got longer as the race went on. I think it was like 25 laps stage 1, and then 2 was like 40 or 45, and stage 3 was like 50 or 55. So it was kind of trying to make adjustments to lines and pace to make sure we were going to have tires at the end to catch some guys, and it worked out for us.
Now, I know a caution kind of came out there late. Did that worry you? Because it seemed like, I mean, although we were kind of saying, oh, he's not that good on the short run. But then again, I think that might have been you were just doing that on purpose. Was that the case?
I was laying up a pretty good bit short run just to make sure I had tire late. But I mean that caution that came with about 15 to go, yeah, I was a little nervous. I made some tire pressure adjustments to try to loosen it up, free it up a little bit. But with I feel like so many different groups and shops and teams, whatever, you come to a track like Charlotte and you could build a long run set that's supposed to go 60 laps, but it may never pay off if you get cautions every 30 laps. So it becomes evident very quickly at the end of a race when you got a caution about 15 to go, who's built their setup for what situation.
Yeah, definitely seemed like you were able to really have the overall car for every situation. That's for sure. Definitely a great job to you out there at Charlotte. I mean, how do you feel physically? I mean, are you tired?
Oh yeah. It was. I'm tired. It was kind of a little bit of a marathon. Definitely longer than the A Opens. I'm planning to run the 600 Saturday night for another league, so I'm just kind of gearing up for that. Definitely getting ready for it.
Oh, if you're tired after this one, I'm guaranteeing you're going to be way more tired after that one. But this is
Right.
just kind of a conditioning race, I guess. Then.
It's great to be able to run this league because the racing is great, the competition's great. We've got a good team to work with, and the racing is clean here. So I mean, we can actually see what the car's doing on those long runs and how it compares. Because sometimes in those officials, you just don't see that. So that's been a really big piece, running this league that I've really enjoyed.
100%. We definitely have enjoyed having you out there for sure. Running really well. You've been kicking some butt, that's for sure, especially with a 1-2-3 with your teammates for sure. I know a lot of. I kind of almost wish Josh Schaffner could have came up here and battled with you. I think he was pretty quick for sure, but you definitely just had the car to beat here tonight. You, Matt DeCiani, and Shane Parrish. I mean, and especially Shane Parrish coming back from all that he did. But yeah, congratulations. I know that you guys have just been taking this place by storm, sending a message to everybody. Of course, next week going to be a little bit of a different track, a technical place. I'm sure it's well within your wheelhouse. How do you feel about Gateway though?
I haven't run a race at Gateway in any car in a while. I honestly just don't know what to expect at the moment. It's just it'll definitely be a learning curve. And it's so unique because you have so much more banking in 1 and 2 at Gateway than you do in 3 and 4. So you got to approach each side of the track totally different.
Yeah, that you do. That's for sure. That is a weird shaped track, shaped like an egg, almost like Darlington, but a little bit different as well. So very, very unique. and can't wait to see what that looks like for sure. Well, great job on the win, Patrick. I know it's been a long night, and I'm sure you're ready to get off here and get some rest. Well, who can we give a shout out to after your big win here tonight?
Yeah, well, first off, I want to thank you guys for obviously broadcasting the race, staying up a little bit later to close this one out. So I appreciate you guys. Shout out to my teammates, Matt and Shane, and they both of them ran a heck of a race. They're both so helpful with just mid race. We talk about strategy, bouncing ideas off, how we need to adjust. So I think that plays a lot into our success here. Matt was up front all race, and then Shane just blew my mind that he was up to third after getting the early accident, at least a lap or two down. So just really enjoy running those guys. Shout out to EPI, for great set we got this week. Team Conti, the guys there, Michael Conti, Adam Benefield, Dustin Hall, those guys do a heck of a job with the NASCAR sets every week. Martin PC, and then C12 Design Shop. So I'll give those guys a shout as well.
Yeah, those guys definitely deserve a shout out. That car looks really, really good. Definitely love the patriotic scheme for sure. I loved your Heartbeat of America race car as well, but definitely a nice change for sure, Patrick. We appreciate your time, and you have yourself a great night. And congratulations once again, brother.
All right, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks again.
No problem at all. That is Patrick Gitter, driver of the 21, able to win the race here tonight. Swept all the stages and won. I mean, you can't ask for a better night, and you can't ask for a better race as well, Big Al. I mean, this race had everything. I mean, it had accidents, it had controversy, it had green flag pit stops, it had 3-wide racing. I mean, for a 250-lap race, I was like, man, this thing is going to be, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this thing. But, man, it did not disappoint. It was fun the whole way through. Wouldn't you say, Big Al?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And kudos to all of the drivers for putting on such an awesome show, man. It was a great event.
It very much was. I look forward to the next one. That's for sure, of course. But look forward to as well Gateway next week. I do believe around 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time we will be going live on the broadcast. Green flag will fly a little after 9:30. So look forward to that racetrack. It's going to be a wild one. That is a very interesting place. That tire wear is going to be involved, shifting. I mean, that is a place that asks pretty much everything from a driver. It definitely requires quite a bit of technicality, and you don't just show up at that track and be good. That's for sure. So we're going to definitely see what these guys can do and all the preparations they're going to make. But we definitely appreciate everybody out there tuning in for sure here tonight. My name is Brian Britt. Big Al, definitely appreciate him calling the race here with me tonight. Appreciate all these drivers as well. And appreciate Kenny Powell for putting all this together. We love to show up here week in and week out to call these races and bring it to the fans out there. And shout out to everybody out there watching as well. We'll see you next time, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great night.